Hey, David. Hi, Poon again.
Thanks. Oh, baby. Oh, thanks. Let's get everybody a minute to join us. Okay.
I'm back.
Rajesh.
Hey, Rajesh.
Hey, good morning, James and David.
Morning. I hear there's a earthquake at the Sunnyvale. I'm not sure if you guys feel there in the South Bay. In the Fremont, I don't feel anything.
Oh, really? No, didn't feel anything.
What did you say? It's what is?
Earthquake? There may be some
Oh,
shaking.
really? No,
Yeah,
I didn't.
Sunnyvale?
I don't know.
Maybe very tiny one. I think half an hour ago or so. I don't know. I'm in Fremont. I don't feel anything here.
Oh,
Is that published already? The white paper?
yes, I think it should be. There it is.
Wait. Yes. Yes. Let's celebrate on that. I think probably the longest white paper on the record. We should have a trophy or something.
Yeah.
or scoreboard checking on this one.
Okay, so here's the link. So congratulations, everyone. Thank you very much for your hard work. And it's official. Here it is.
Hey, thanks, David, for all your coordination.
Yep, I had the easiest job of everyone.
Yeah, thank you to everyone here.
Thank you very much.
Any changes on this final version or?
So I only got one feedback, and it was mostly related to grammar, syntax, missing comma, stuff like that. I haven't had a chance to go through that and update it, but as soon as I get a chance to do it, I'll just send them a new copy and they'll update the database, but no content change. Just small errata, things like that. So good job about that. I wanted to do a couple of things. Let me first share one more thing. I wanted to show you this, guys. Now I need to find the sharing button. New share. Okay, do you see this? So this is Intel Foundry presenting. And notice the very last bullet. So notice the very last bullet.
Right.
It says standard development. And what does it say in here? OCP and JEDEC. So this is Intel publicly talking about their work with us. So good job, everyone. I guess let's keep the momentum going. Actually, let me see. Yeah, I won't post it in the meeting minutes, but I thought this is important to share. Now, I wanted to do one more thing today and talk a little bit about. Give me a second to pull up some slides.
David, did you go to the conference?
I did not know.
No, I went there.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Nice.
That's why I was there yesterday, and that's why I was surprised I did not see you. I thought you attended.
Yeah. No, wasn't there. Well, it should
no.
have been, but that's okay. So, so how was the conference?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was amazing that the Intel. I can give you, if you give me 2 minutes, I can explain and give you the feedback.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so see, the entire conference was rebranding, and sometimes for business purpose, because of all the uh, efforts they had put for last 4 or 5 years of research and development and going and fighting, competing with the TSMC. So they had to do some rebranding. So this was, although it was a rebranding sort of marketing and telling the entire world what Intel has done, I think there's a complete rechange of what Intel used to be and now Intel is now. I attended the first talk, which was given by the CEO, Pat, and I think he has completely changed the approach the Intel had taken earlier in the historical sense. So they used to do all by themselves. Now the entire conference they are saying we are going to partner. They announced the partnership with the ARM. They announced the partnership with all the three major EDA vendors, Siemens, Synopsys, and even Ansys was there, and Cadence, and all the three CEOs, including Art DeJesus and Devgan of Cadence, and I think the America's digital industries VP from Siemens, everybody talked and they supported. So what they are saying is they are going to make it as a Intel Foundry. They have basically changed the name from Intel Foundry Services to Intel Foundry, and they have actually going to serve outside customers also. And they presented all their roadmap all the way to 18A angstrom process.
Yeah.
So actually the technical VP from that lady, Annie, I think she's the major force behind all the process development. She actually talked about how they are reducing all the resistivity and thermal and everything. I mean, all the technical stuff was presented at that conference by in her talk, showing that they are going to go for next 5 years. They will be going all the way to announce 3 nodes. 4 Intel 4 and then 3 and then 3P. 3P is for 3 performance and 3 nanometer performance. So they are very aggressive in that. So although it sounded like a marketing in the beginning, they presented the hard data at the after lunch. And third thing was they are going to partner with UMC, Universal Microelectronics, for their established node like 12 nanometer. So basically, they are talking about cutting cost and making this CHIPS Act. So they presented everything, which fabs they are going to build and all that stuff. So it's exciting. They did talk about chiplets, and I was happy that they actually presented all their EMIB, right, embedded micro cell and interconnect interface. And then they talked about vertical 3D Power VR, which are I think their latest R&D. So just keep looking for what Intel is going to do. It was a good technical conference. Although it sounded like at the beginning that Intel is going to announce big thing. So they did announce, and then they actually talked about partnering.
2020.
Huh? And there were a lot of booths in the presentation. I mean, there was Intel partners were presenting their support for all this, including all the service companies. That's why I was there.
Nice.
That sounds
Okay.
interesting. I hear a
But-
news recently just announced. I think I probably in part with this. I think they Microsoft just partner with the Intel.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah,
yesterday,
yeah,
there was actually
user foundry. I think
Seattle
that's a
from
big thing.
Seattle.
Mhm.
Satya Nadella announced they are going to test drive the 18A, which is the most advanced process Intel has come out with. They are going to use in their products. So actually, he talked about 10 minutes. It was amazing, and Mr. That was one, and then at the end there was just fireside chat with Sam Altman, who's the CEO of Open AI, which is now Microsoft, right? You all talk about Chat GPT, and so basically, what to give you a nutshell, they are putting billions of dollars in getting the new foundry and new nodes with the assumption that they will get a amazing compute power requirements and market from AI. So that's why he called this at the end. The entire day of session was over with Sam talking about how we are totally underestimating the compute power needed for AI. So that was a good first time I saw this amazing guy. Very young, but he just entire
Yeah.
audience was auditorium was full for his talk only. I mean, he chat with
Interesting.
Pat
Well,
Gelsinger.
he's talked about the power issues. It's not the compute power is one aspect. The actual watts is another one. And Intel has never had a low power approach to engineering.
Correct. So they presented in all these 4A, 3P, and all these roadmaps they gave up to 2027. They always talked about power per performance watts, and then how each going from 4 to 3.
They're the least likely people to do that, though.
Yeah, but now let's see what is going to happen.
I would bet money that they cannot do it. I mean, neither can AMD or NVIDIA. I mean, they're just these guys did not change their spots. They've been doing x86 since the 80s.
Yeah. So I see what you're saying. I think the things are changing. They are not talking about now the Intel only. Now they are talking about Intel with all partners.
Yeah, that's they don't change their spots. That's not going to work so well.
Maybe in the beginning there was a marketing, but
that's a sign of desperation. That one.
Yeah, it is because I can tell you, they completely showed that they are number two. Means they accepted that TSMC actually the reason they partnered with ARM, because ARM CEO was there. That was another big thing. I mean, ARM CEO was talking to the number two in Intel, who is Stuart Penn, who is actually CEO and general manager of Intel Foundry. They talked about doing this complete subsystem which ARM has released in their aggressive.
At this point, it doesn't really matter whether it's ARM or x86. People who do like VLIW processors, I don't care what code it is because it's not going to run very well natively. You can kind of morph it into something else that does work.
Yeah, actually, x86 is now. I think that is the old story. I think they have gone beyond that. Let's see.
I just don't see Intel changing. I mean, it's been a long time. They've had lots of opportunities and they just keep screwing it up. They should have been able to do better processors with the FPGA technology from Altera, and they completely failed to do that. They should have been able to do in-memory computing with the Optane stuff that they got with Micron. They didn't do that. So like whatever they promise, I wouldn't be relying on it.
So I can give you one thing. Yesterday's event was completely focus on Intel Foundry. So they are putting old wine in the new bottle. Basically, they used to call IFS, which they did not succeed very well, and they are just going to call it Intel Foundry, and then it's not about product. They did not talk about any products.
Yeah, there's a thing where like the FinFET stuff, to some extent, what it lets you do is you just keep rolling along with the same methodology you used to have. So the same RTL methodology they had like 20 years or 30 years ago still works because they keep managing to make transistors that support that. But at that level, it's not doing DVFS well. It's not doing analog stuff well. you're just still in that power hungry design mode.
One interesting thing that they did show actually they hired some new packaging guy. I think that's what is very relevant to what we are doing here. They hired some, I think Samsung or somebody is like 3 months new in Intel. So he was giving a very unbiased view. He was very straightforward. He told that Intel has been known to be all these internet. I mean, they have a lot of problems inside, but I can tell you, I am 3 months old, but I think we can go further. Of course, he must be, of course, now talking for his new employer, but they did display the optical interconnect panel in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a big future in optical.
Yeah.
I think you just have to stop gluing fibers to things to make it work.
Okay, thanks, David.
Yeah,
that's it from my side.
Thank you very much, Rajesh.
Right.
By the way, I see we have somebody calling in from an iPhone. Who is this? Can you?
Hey, David, can you hear me? This is Lal.
Hello. Is that you on the iPhone?
Yes, and I'm driving. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, hey, Rao.
Sorry for the background noise. I do not know how to mute it from my side.
No, it's all good. Thank you for joining us. So, okay. Thank you very much, Rajesh, for the overview of what happened from Intel. I appreciate that. That's very interesting. I'm sorry I missed that conference. Now, one thing I wanted to do today is go over the plans of CDX for 2024. I wanted to share a few slides that Jawad shared with me, and we can all review and talk about some of the timelines, what we want to do. Let me, Jawad, are you okay if I share the slides?
Absolutely.
Okay. By the way, I made one correction here that this is 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So this is what Jawad has for ODSA. I wanted to focus on CDX. Let's see where we are. So Jawad, our paper has been published already.
So go to number 4. That will make it easier.
Number 4. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So is this, do I need to ungroup this? Okay, let's see, can I move this? So this is done. This is done. So we have
So David,
2 more.
is that
Actually,
David, is that paper now official contribution?
It is.
Oh, so it's published?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yep. I'll post the link in the chat for everyone if you want to go and access directly. I also have the link in the meeting minutes. So that's official published. Oh, February 20th, I think they published it as promised. So Jawad, why don't you walk us through your thinking, and I'll add what I think is missing.
Okay, so, my thinking is maybe I can probably start with slide 1 to give everyone a little bit of a context of the bigger scheme of things, right? So we basically have activity going on in 3 broad areas. One significant one, which is very foundational, are open interfaces that include bunch of wire, link layer, pi metrics, standardization, and then some die-to-die testing. And then we have our chiplet design tools, which basically now have CDX, ADK, MDK, and the CDX workflow work groups. And then we have these economy booster work streams related to applications. There is a business work stream, there is a reference design, proof of concept, and there's another one in the working, which is high performance computing modular chiplets. Okay, so this is the broad thinking, and we're basically trying to align output of various work streams in a way that it helps the industry and aligns with the government programs and helps everybody with their business and their personal objectives, right? So that's the goal.
Yes.
So if you look at slide number 3, what you will see are the application. So go to 3.
Yeah. Can I ask you a quick question before we go there? On the HPC, there is something that Alan Cantor does that's in HPC, but I think he's looking from the module side of things.
Yes, and I think the big idea in that work stream is the following. A big buyer for this technology is government and government labs. So our objective is if some of the business requirements come from them as to what systems will they be interested in buying, then that would help everyone. So that's the goal, to drive it from an application point of view.
Okay, I understand. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so if you look at slide 3, these are basically the very top level objectives of the program. So I drew this little stack, which is we're thinking about electricals and link layers. And on top of that, we have design tools like CDXML and CD3DK. Then on top of that, we really want applications, etc. Right? So one key
which slide are you on?
I'm on slide number 3.
Okay.
The same one. Okay. So you will see on the top side various activities that are planned by the business work stream and proof of concept and some ODSA. ODSA has a talk in DAC. They did participate in Chiplet Summit. And business work stream has a workshop coming up. It will be virtual workshop, total 3 hours, spread over 2 weeks. So 8 a.m. meeting on March 15th and March 23rd will be business workshop, will be converted to that. So I think it'll be useful for everybody to listen in. But the big idea is we are encouraging work streams to bring more comprehensive education to everybody such that people understand and know what we are doing and that there is no duplication, because that's one of the challenges that we are seeing, that uh, government, for example, has no clue that we are doing all of this work. So I want to make sure that they have visibility into it. So workshops will be a mechanism. That's why my idea is let's have at least 3 workshops and have the work streams from that band of work streams participate in the workshops. So that's one. Then you will see another activity which is listed here for business training module. So this might be a new type of contribution that is being discussed and may become a contribution where what you do is the white paper that you wrote, you create some videos on it, basically giving lectures and training. And then those videos will become part of the training modules. Right?
Okay, very nice. Yes.
And then you will see, demo days at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab. There's a demo day in OCP Regional if you want to go to Portugal, Lisbon.
Yeah.
And there will be the global forum, the global summit, right?
Yeah.
So this basically tells you how to read this sheet. So now go to number 4, which is relevant to the work that's being done here. And what I need is from you to tell me if this is correct and how you want to change it. Because what I did was I said, okay, we made really good progress on the white paper, and then we have MDK and ADK upcoming. My
Yes.
original thing was ADK because it's probably it needs a little bit more work that it might go out in October, but Tony's request is to do ADK no later than July. And I now understand what that means. By the way, David, did you show the picture to everyone?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Right. So the thing is, this work is pretty much the only work that got mentioned by Intel. And we were surprised of it because some of us have been in some of those meetings and, we have this discussion on WIDI format and on the ADK format. So I'm just hoping that results in more active participation from Intel in this activity. So the point is, these design kits are critical for manufacturing more than they are for design, because US government is putting money in to these manufacturers and telling them to do automation and provide EDA consumable design kits.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys don't have experience with it, especially when they come from the packaging background, right?
Yeah.
So our work here could be important for many reasons. Therefore, the idea was that, maybe around June timeframe, we do a workshop where pretty much all of us, I think all of us should probably talk about our sections in the workflow and maybe go a little bit more detail into it, but make it, relevant enough for the general audience so people know what's the utility of the work that we are doing, right?
Yes.
And
So, okay, please continue. Sorry.
and then a little bit down the line, in August timeframe, we can potentially make some videos on it, so they will have life of their own as part of training modules.
Yeah.
Now, so the reason I circulated this to the work streams was for everyone to get the bigger picture and then maybe fine tune what they think is reasonable. I don't want to overwhelm anyone. I mean, I'm a volunteer, you guys are a volunteer. This is kind of like a side gig for all of us. So let's do something that excites us and something that is meaningful.
Yes. So the couple of things that I just added while you were talking is, the one is we were talking about CDXML 2.0. So we can get cranking on that and probably have a release in May, maybe late April, May.
Yeah, I think let's
have
that. I
have
think
a
that,
draft kind of like this at the beginning of May and see where we end up. And the other thing is that demo design that we're working on. I kind of want to align it around the workshop. Maybe the workshop we can talk about the workflows, and then the demo design we can actually use as those videos, right? We can have initial version for DAC in July, and then the final version for Global Summit in October. All right, maybe like this. What does everyone think about that?
So, David, one comment. It's very important for us to have activities that, where everybody is interested in some part of it in terms of contribution. I think one great thing with the white paper is that everybody at least has the opportunity to contribute.
Yes.
Right. So do take that into account for sure.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So I think we have two smaller groups I see here. One is going to work on CDXML and another one is going to work on the demo design. Need to think about bigger activities for the bigger team and see how to get everyone to contribute.
And I think one more that was just mentioned, right? The workshop, right? So I think that will be a good start also, since we over automation. So probably everyone can maybe prepare some training materials. On each respective section, and then and see how we can like organize that and create that like how long with that tag and where the venue and things like that. We can probably talk about that then in the next few kind of like session.
And David, I have a question. What is CDX demo design?
So demo design is basically the workflow demo design. Workflow demo design. Basically, the white paper that we did kind of get a design to that workflow.
Oh, you mean
To
actually do a design?
Well, not full complete design, but get close to it, something simple.
Okay, but here is the challenge with that one. So first of all, there is a proof of concept work stream, guys, right? And
Okay.
what they did was they fundraised from Google. They came up with the architecture of a reference design, and some outside company implemented the design. They now need to have funds to be able to manufacture it. Okay. So you have to give me some clarity of, what exactly are you thinking and how.
This one definitely is not something that we're going to go and manufacture. This is going to be totally a virtual design, and the focus is really on the architectural exploration, right? The initial planning for how we are going to partition the chiplets, look at performance, look at power integrity, look at signal integrity. That initial phase, right, before getting into actual implementation.
Oh, I see. Now, is there learning for everyone, and is there some activity related to data exchange in that demo?
There is going to be a lot of activity in terms of data exchange.
Yes.
Right, because I do see that we're going to need to exchange, first of all, IP data, power data. We are going to need to exchange materials, and we are going to need to look at definitely at assemblies, what works, what doesn't. Right.
So I think this is pretty much, I think it's like a few different tools kind to interconnect how we design to
Yes.
right? So
yep.
trying to
basically
connect those two
yep.
together and how to come up with a design. So now with this chiplet, they have new way of design, and then that's a lot of planning upfront where this is part of the workflow, and also like this kind of CDX ML format and some material and it may be useful as an exchange between these two. So I think and to demo that, I think to becomes a software demo.
Yeah, basically it goes even beyond CDXML. Yeah, it will affect the CDK, right? The chiplet design kit that right really show that, hey, here's a chiplet, here's the files for it, and this is how we integrate these files. That's the overall idea of that exercise.
And is this the same thing that you and Tony were trying to do in the Global Summit last year?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a continuity on that. Yes. We're trying to plug in more on CDX ML in between, and hopefully adding some of the MTK or ATK later on then. So we'll help on that part.
I see. So I think one of the things, and I was hoping Tony is here, is to articulate general benefit of it, because we can certainly do one thing. Hey, we are CDX member companies, we work together, and look, our tools are interoperating, right? That's one thing. And it would be interesting if maybe, especially if Tony invites some other vendors and makes a bigger demo, right?
Okay.
Because with that Intel announcement, if you look at that, with that whole foundry thinking, everybody is understanding that there is a need for data exchange and design kits, etc. But what everybody is afraid of is any EDA vendor going to support it.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, we can, that's a very good thought. I don't know whether we can get the Intel data per se,
Yeah.
but we can get probably Intel-like data, meaning, hey, here's the files, we'll populate it with whatever numbers we want, right? And I don't see a problem with that becoming open source and contributing, saying, hey, here's the CDK, here's the workflow, here's the files, right? That is how you can accomplish all of this. Would that, does that make sense?
I think that would make a lot of sense. If Intel comes in and says, okay, we want to support this activity and we want to demonstrate some of this interop, I think that would be excellent.
Okay. Let me try to figure that one out. I'll talk to
Tony has
Tony
a
as
lot
well.
of into that, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Um,
But yes, I think this is ambitious, but I think
yes.
being ambitious is good because we have two very clear deliverables, ADK and MDK. And then
Yes.
additional ones, which are workshops and training modules. I think this will pretty much keep us busy for the year. And if you want to add this demo design, I think this is probably going to bleed into next year as well.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right. Again, this is probably, this demo design is probably more of a continuous, a vehicle that will continuously keep on improving on.
Okay.
Right. If we see anything missing, we'll be adding, or depending on how much we can work, how much of the work we can do on it. Right. Because again, we are volunteers, but I think we have an okay idea of what we want to accomplish in all of that. So it's just getting it done. So we'll see how much we can accomplish. And I'm sure, right, some of the areas, because it's pretty big chiplet workflow is pretty big anyway. So my expectation is that all the different steps are going to trend at different speeds. Right, some things are going to get done sooner than others, and so on.
Okay, if you're happy with this page, do send it to me, because I'm
Yes.
going to show it to the sub-project call tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I will send this one to you.
okay, that's all.
Yeah.
Any
And then
any questions for me?
Hey, Jawad, I have a question.
Go ahead.
You mentioned government is not at all aware of our efforts here.
Okay,
I'm
so
not sure because I think in the middle of last year, you had sent or Bapi had sent one workshop, which was online. I attended, which was held in Berkeley, and there was some Lawrence Livermore or some. So government is not at all in this. They don't know what.
okay,
this is.
so let me clarify. If I said not at all, I was wrong.
No, this is for my own understanding. I don't
Yes.
even know.
So we have improved quite a bit.
It's better than shaving cream.
Hello.
yeah, so sorry about that.
So the credit goes to two people. One is Tony and the other is Bapi. That they have gone to a lot of government meetings and they have made people aware of this activity. So, but there is always limitation, right? So the newer people coming, and we are seeing people trying to redo some of the work that, like back in December, I had to go to SI2 and explain to them what is it that we are doing, right? And then because they were trying to do a big program on their own, and that's where this whole OCP, SI2, JEDEC alignment came from. So it's a continuous effort. to rally people in this direction because we've made pretty decent progress already. We are pretty much ahead of everybody else, and we have decent neutral place where anyone should be able to come in and pick things up, right?
There was a thing with the HPC stuff that Alan Cantel's doing, where they're doing a proposal for the government's new supercomputer. I think is that DOE.
Yes, LBL.
But I mean, Alan's very focused on the sort of outer shell of the HPC module, and I was thinking we were missing how do we do sort of chiplets on interposers in a way that just plugs in as a modular thing that sort of plugs into what he's doing. And then, like with one of the other groups, we're looking at AI, hardware, software, co-design, and heterogeneous computing. So I think that there isn't really a joined up story across that at the moment. And I'm not sure who's going to drive it, but it seems like somebody at OCP should be sort of wrangling the cats. And
yes, so Cliff Grossner is actually the person wrangling the cats.
Okay.
It looks like multiple parts of the government don't talk to each other. So
I think that's true of most organizations,
right.
in the government, you know.
So I see him communicating with them and trying to bring together a HPC modularity work stream. And his current estimate is he still needs to do maybe another 2-3 months worth of work to bring everyone together.
Yeah, I was kind of saying to Alan that with the HPC stuff, you know, he's plugging boards in, you know, it looks like PCIe stuff. And I said, look, every board's got 4 edges and 2 surfaces, you know, and I'd like to be using the surfaces rather than the edges, you know, doing optical stuff, you know, can we go that way? And, you know, is there a way we can plug in, you know, chiplet modules that are going to do that stuff?
Yeah.
And one more comment, Jawad. Yesterday, actually, U.S. Secretary of Commerce Gina called in from Washington in that Intel summit, and she just talked for 5 minutes. But I can see the way the government is too much interested strengthening the manufacturing and competitiveness. You all know, right? So that may be a good. I mean, so long as we portray our work, and I mean, they should be jumping in.
Yes. So now that we have Boppy sitting over there, I think the requests have now changed more in the direction of, hey guys, can we work with you? Right on. So there are several of those requests that are pouring in, and that's good. You know, everybody might just be looking at our output from this group to adopt or at least rally around. So Rajesh, I agree with you, and that was good information. Okay, David, that was all from me.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, that's very good job. Thank you for the overview. I appreciate it. I think I do like your view of 2024 for different groups, and I think that puts us all, gives us idea what to do, when to do it, and but most importantly aligns everybody. So I think this is perfect. I really like it. I just sent you the slides, by the way, that I just edited. So hopefully I didn't mangle them too much.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, folks. I don't have anything else on the agenda. I wanted to check with everyone else if there's anything you want to bring up. Should I go to the room? Boone, James?
Nothing from my end. Thanks.
Rajesh, Mark?
No.
Yeah, just to come back to, hey, everybody, just to come back to the discussion earlier on the demo. I think there's incremental progress that is going to become important for us before we have a complete demonstration. Specifically in the area that, you know, my team's working and trying to bring, you know, more digital continuity throughout, you know, electronic stacks based on hardware and software and firmware allocations at the microelectronics level. It's becoming a bigger and bigger problem, and the more we identify that problem to our customers, the more they resonate back saying, yeah, that we're struggling with that. So I think it's an immature conversation across the industry right now, but this demo workflow could really help accelerate the maturation of that discussion. And if nothing else, just to find out if it's worth investing more in from a vendor standpoint and a user standpoint than what we're doing today.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, do you think some of your users, I know because we've been talking a little bit about the course at some course and try to figure something out, but I'm wondering if some of your users can pitch in and provide a little bit actual on the ground feedback or ideas, what they want to see.
Yeah, I think that will happen later this year. We're still largely in an exploration mode and trying to understand the value of bringing solutions to this problem space. But we're offering some specific customers a cloud platform that has all the necessary software configured on it with some example IP, and just saying, you know, it's not free, but if you want to get on it and bang around with a handful of people so you can understand the realm of the possible, you know, let's configure that for you. So we're at the stage of having customers come back and say, yeah, tell us how much that's going to cost us. So there's a demand there to do this type of exploration and report some results. Whether or not any of those folks would be, you know, willing to share what they think, you know, most of them are in the military space, so it's always, you know, even if it's not that sensitive of material, they still don't want to be the person that disclosed stuff. So, but with having said that, I think we're probably 4 to 6 months away from having some significant aerospace and defense customers stand up and say, this is what we think. We had a preliminary go around with one company last year and they came to our user group meeting and gave just surprisingly rave reviews about what they were able to accomplish. So we do have some pretty strong indications that the demand will grow, and they'll have those success stories to share.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
There didn't seem to be a whole lot of the chiplet summit about designing something across a number of chiplets at one go, and the complexity issues of doing that.
Yeah, that's what was the original attraction for us to start investing in this team in the first place.
Yeah.
There's a company called JAMA Software. I'm sure most people have heard of them. They just reported that they hit their first project with 10 million requirements. And I don't know anything about what the project is, but I found people sort of bouncing up against 100,000, you know, the 6-digit mark. Didn't hear anything about the 7-digit mark, and here they go. They're at 8 digits now. It's just like something's going on here. And
I mean, I'm coming from verification space, and if you make something twice as complicated, it takes at least 4 times as long to verify a deal. Yeah, so I'm thinking, okay, you know, like we've gone off one chip and we're now doing half a dozen at a go. I mean, that's like an order of magnitude like worse from a verification perspective. And there's like a whole lot of clock domain crossing issues. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you don't normally have to deal with inside a chip. And talking to the guys on the IEEE committee, doing system Verilog, they don't seem terribly interested in expanding what they're doing to cover that. Yeah.
I completely agree with you. It's
that was the Siemens team I was talking to
there's a lot of Siemens teams in Siemens.
Yeah, if you hire me and give me a whip, I'll get them to do the right thing.
Okay. I give you a couple more weapons to make sure you're armed appropriately.
There's some carrots, perhaps. Yeah.
So Mark, what does this Java software company do? What do they do?
JAMA, J-A-M-A, they're in requirements management. So they're, if you're familiar with IBM Doors and Doors Next Gen, they tend to be the most well-known requirements management tool. But JAMA's been eating their market share over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I was trying to get a more agile approach in EDA where you can start with like stuff that sort of works across your system with the requirements, and you just say which ones are not actually being matched yet, and you have to do some work. You just burn down through your requirements.
It's exactly what our platform does, Ken.
Yeah, it's a little tricky to arrange that in the simulation, though. It's like everything sort of doesn't work for ages usually.
So we have this concept of discretizing the verification event and the verification capture point into very specific meta model and set of elements and relationships. It's just, standard, object-oriented approach to managing the information. You just have to have a very, explicit set of relationships that can be maintained by each of the element types, right? And it's just that nobody's attacked the verification space that way to build the digital continuity, because there's stuff all over the place that nobody knows at the IT level what to do with. So we built this repository agnostic threading. It's like super OSLC, and it's working pretty well. But our customers just don't know that you can do repository agnostic stuff.
Yeah, can third parties sort of plug into that? I was thinking of working with somebody doing like power management IC stuff. It's like, and that would be different tools from your tools. Would that plug in?
We have to support that. You can't solve the problem unless you're very open.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, we could talk about that. Anyway, thanks, David.
Thanks, Mark. John, Kevin?
Nothing for me.
Not here. Thanks.
Michael? Well?
Nothing for me. Nothing from me either. David, thanks.
Jawad, any last comments?
Yeah, so it looks like the most recent contribution is going to be CDX ML2. So
yes,
you on track for that?
Yeah, we're going to start working on that.
Okay.
Yeah, we will need to sync up on that one day, I think, from that previous meeting. So David, I will call you offline.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, one thing I wanted to mention to everyone, please pay attention to emails I'm going to send out and meeting updates. ODSA maybe will possibly change the Zoom links, so right now all the groups use one Zoom link, and in the future different groups are going to get their own Zoom links. That makes it easier for us to manage the recordings, and then we don't have to, we can overlap meetings between different groups, right, when we have different Zoom links. So pay attention to that. I will update the invites and we'll send a note once that happens. So at some point in the future, the Zoom link will change. So please be aware of that. Okay. So that's all for today. We'll meet in a little bit for the TDK meeting. Otherwise, main CDX meeting next week at 10 a.m. Pacific. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for your time. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, everyone.